Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wahawah Kakadash, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Many blessings and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the house of David, the Bayafta of Daphne, whom these epistles are written for in these last days. Shalom to the elect. I just came across this article and wanted to bring it out to the body, and it's pretty interesting because I kept seeing how how you got bickering back and forth. I brought out a few times due to Daniel 2:41 and Revelation 17 and things of that nature. But you can see it's in the theme that the Lord is putting all of the allies, the beast against the whore. And I mean, it's complete, and it's just continuing more. And I'm noticing this spirit it's been popping up more and more in the news. So obviously the Lord has ordained this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a little bit of this article. We're going to get a couple of scriptures, and it's not going to be a long lesson because obviously if you see through the spirit that right now the Lord has the beast and the whore beefing, according to Daniel 2:41, you can see where this is going and how this is going to end for Babylon because they're going to be surrounded on all sides, right? So this is from RT News. It says NATO countries should restore ties with Russia, bloc chief. So you've been seeing and hearing a lot of bickering between the beast, which is EU and NATO, and the whore, which is America and Babylon, right? And now that the new world order is getting ready to commence, right? They're going to bring the chip, and no matter who brings it, they're all with it. Now that they're bringing the chip, now, the rest of the countries are looking at America like we don't really need you. Okay. In the article, it says it would be normal for relations to be resumed once Ukraine conflict is over. So now they're singing a different tune from a year ago when they were all about trying to stay in Ukraine and help Ukraine fight Russia. Now all of a sudden Donald Trump's in office. Now they're singing a different tune, but they want to tune America out. Okay. It says Europe and the United States should gradually normalize relations with Russia once the Ukraine conflict is over, NATO secretary said. The statement comes a day after the head of the U.S.-led military bloc met Donald Trump at the White House and amid ongoing efforts by Washington to establish a ceasefire between Moscow and Kiev. Now, there will not be any peace in these last times. There will be many wars, ultimately with the main war popping off. But right now, sides are being chosen. Okay. It says Trump also has expressed interest in restoring economic ties with Russia, an idea that was supported by Russian President Vladimir Putin. So you see where this is going, right? Now let me explain it to you. What America don't understand is you had conflicted leadership for the last 30 to 40 plus years, although both the Democratic and Republican parties are on the same page as it is with the New World Order. They just want different outgoings, right? They want, the Democrats want to single out Russia and these other countries while Donald Trump and the Republic, well, maybe just Donald Trump, or I don't know. They want to try to restore, some type of communication with China and Russia and these other countries. But they're getting tired of the conflicting results. And so now they're going to just say, you know what, we're going to choose for you. Okay. Which they're doing right now. All right. It says, speaking to Bloomberg TV on Friday, Rutte recalled that he had many dealings and many negotiations with Vladimir Putin while Prime Minister of the Netherlands. It says long term, Russia is there. Russia will not go away. But he said it's normal if the war would have stopped for Europe somehow, step by step, and also for the U.S. step by step to restore normal relations with Russia, he argued. So it would appear, if you're reading this article, it would appear that America and NATO and the EU are on the same page, but they are not. There are many countries that are within NATO that are saying, hell no. All he is doing is trying to argue for the other side. He has a big wig title, so he's trying to argue for the other side, but there are many that disagree. And that goes back to what? Daniel 2 and 41. Okay. Seems like I've been bringing that up a lot lately. Daniel 2 and 41, it says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And so the trust between allies are broken, as you can see. They're giving statements, different statements, but they're also bickering amongst each other. Turkey's bickering with this country over here. You got the Israelis over there going to Syria, bombing shit, still bombing Gaza. And even though they're not a part of the EU or NATO, but they're unofficial. Okay, they're protected by that bloc, right? And you have all these different things that are going on, and it is making things murky on the international scene. Right. This is Daniel 2 and 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, which they're doing. Okay. It says, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And they're gonna be beefing. Okay. Some of those certain so-called Arab religions and their understanding of how they see the world is completely different from the devil, right? Although he's trying to mix himself within the seed of men, but it's not going to completely mix. And that's going to be the downfall of their kingdom, okay? And eventually, Esau's over here in America, they're going to be betrayed. They're going to be betrayed by those same people, right? This is all prophecy. This is Obadiah 1 and 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. That's right. So ain't going to be no understanding. The understanding is you need to be destroyed. That's what these other countries are going to say about America. All we're saying is what the Bible says. The Bible has the setup, okay? It's telling you about what's going to happen, and Babylon is going to think that they are at a good case, and they're not, okay? The new administration is really just carrying all administrations that America has had. They're all on the same page, bringing confusion into the world, lies, manipulation, gaslighting. Okay, the people are tired of this shit. All right. It says, Ukraine's possible membership of the bloc is off the table in the current peace process, Rutte confirmed. It says most EU leaders, with notable exceptions of Hungary's Viktor Orban and Slovakia's Robert Fico, have advocated for continuing confrontation with Russia despite the ongoing peace process. So, see what I'm saying? Partly broken. Partly iron, partly broken, man. Some want to continue the war. Some want to stop it. It says European NATO countries have been supplying weapons to Kiev since the escalation of the conflict in 2022. Some bloc members, such as France, have floated the idea of destroying or deploying troops in Ukraine to monitor a truce It says Russia has denounced the idea and insisted that any NATO contingent in Ukraine deployed without a UN mandate will be considered a legitimate target. That's what they're trying to stop. That's what they really want to stop. I'm talking about America, namely, and at the foremost, because they know once that happens, Article 5 kicks in. Okay. Article 5 kicks in and it's all gloves are off. All right. And if you don't know what Article 5 what Article 5 is, hey, go look it up on Google. It's talking about the war pact between the NATO and nations, where if one is attacked, all are attacked and will respond in kind. So all of NATO and the EU and America would attack Russia if that happened. And you don't have to guess what's going to happen after that. Okay. It says Moscow has accused the EU of militarizing against Russia, and the bloc's leaders backed 800 billion, okay, in debt and tax breaks for its military industrial complex. As NATO's biggest financial contributor, Trump has consistently criticized the bloc's European members for not meeting the defense expenditure targets. So he's criticizing them. They're tired of this shit, and they're looking to strike out against Babylon the Great, and that's what's going to happen. Okay? That's what's going to happen. They're going to get tired of all the criticisms. They're going to get tired of all the backbiting, the pointing the fingers, the gaslighting. They're all going to get tired of that. And they're going to respond. Okay. Jeremiah 51:7, it says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. And they're going to be so mad that they're going to want to join up with who their enemies are today. Well, and tomorrow it'll be their allies. And you'll be the only enemy on the earth. Sucks for you. Verse 8, it says, Babylon has become fallen. Like it. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her. If she may be healed, right? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go up everyone to his home country. For her judgment reacheth up to the heavens, unto the heavens, and is lifted up even to the skies. And that's Babylon gonna be destroyed, man. We're not just saying this because it's a popular saying. We're telling it because it's the truth. Jeremiah 15:13, it says, because of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord Yahweh. That's a quote from the Bible via the prophet Jeremiah telling Babylon, the new Babylon, your time is numbered. Okay? It's a TikTok sound. It's a TikTok sound, man. Okay? All right, midnight is almost here. All right, and it's almost time to see Babylon go out in flames. And we're almost out of here, brothers. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. We almost out of here. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai, B'Shem Hawakah Dash, Shalom to the elect.